So tonight I'm going to be talking about the club global leadership team and right off the top, although I don't mention it in the content itself, I think right now I want to emphasize the word team. With rare exception, our clubs, our zones, our districts, our multiple districts should not be a series of committees of one. With rare exception, a committee of one is should not be allowed. So, whenever a club leadership team is assembled, then of course they're going to have a chair, the person responsible for all of this stuff. But I want to emphasize that it's teamwork that's going to make it successful. And if you have to do everything yourself, that puts things in a bit of a bind. So tonight we're going to talk about the global leadership team. And on the agenda tonight, we got going to be talking about the structure itself, and that's for the global action team. And I'll show you how the global leadership team fits in. And I'm going to present the question: is this position, the GLT, is this elected or is it appointed? Talk about the qualifications for a GLT, for a leadership chair, review some of the goals, and of course the tasks necessary to achieve them. And then, of course, we'll wrap it up at the end. So I want to start off by talking about the Global Action Team structure itself. And I've worked up this illustration to show it off. And the Global Action Team is actually made up of 5 different components led by the Global Action Team Chair. And the Global Action Team Chair is responsible for working with the Global Leadership Team, Global Service Team, Global Extension Team, and Global Membership Team. And they all work together as much as possible. None of them are in a silo. So we need to be aware of that little element as we walk through this, because there are so many common elements between each of these 5 that working together is to your advantage. So let's talk about the qualifications. And the qualifications for this are really kind of simple. Someone that's passionate, invested in the club's future. Passion is something that is developed from within, usually by experience. So when you got passion coupled with experience, you've got yourself a good candidate for the position of GLT. And a GLT leads by example. You know, we hear this over and over and over again, but I tell you what, this is something that we really need to look for when we're looking for a GLT, leading by example, actively participating in the different programs, actively, and of course, able to use the technology. Yeah. Now, I use Microsoft Office right there. And I'm not saying that you have to use Microsoft. It's just that Microsoft Office is dominant in the world today. So I use that in very easily because most everybody use it. At the very least, you want to be able to be comfortable with email. You want to be comfortable with Microsoft Word or a word processing program. You need to be comfortable with exploring, with getting into and looking about the Lions portal, the Lions International website, and be comfortable with different forms of social media, and there are just tons of them, of course. And one of the more important elements of this whole thing is recognizing the importance of diversity in our Lions organization. The more we become aware of this, the more we are inclined to reach out to folks that we might not otherwise be approaching. Talk about some of the goals involved. When we're working with the GLT, there's several ultimate things that the GLT is looking for: supporting the other GAT positions. And you do this in a direct way. because more and more the GLT is going to be called upon to provide training for all of the club members for the different positions, for the service, for the extension, for the membership. The GLT provides training, helps provide training, provides training opportunities in these different areas, supporting the different GET positions. The GLT is expected to communicate and coordinate with the zone and the district GLT. I did not. I failed to do something, and this reminds me of just exactly that. I'm going to walk backwards here for just a minute because I do want to illustrate. Back at the structure itself, for each of these different 5 positions, they are in place in every club, every zone, every district, every multiple district. Now, depending on your club, you may not have a GST, for instance. It's possible. A smaller club may not have a GST or a GET in place. You know, that's perfectly fine. You do what you're able to do with the people that you have in play. But especially at the zone, especially at the district and multiple district, each of these positions are filled. Each of these positions are active and working hard. I want to emphasize that this is a structure that is expected every place from the club up through, actually, right on up through international as well, not just the zone district and multiple district. And I forgot to stress that earlier. So now let me work forward. Come on. There we are. Okay, here we are. Good. Yeah. So communicating with the zone and district GLTs and GAT, certainly. Providing information to club members via newsletters, social media, email, face-to-face, whatever happens to work, but making sure that you keep your club members informed of what's going on with regards to your leadership efforts, progress towards your goals. Always important. And of course, to chair the club officer nominating committee. Now, this is expected. It's not mandated. It's expected that the club president is going to appoint the GLT as the chair for the nominating committee. Depending on a variety of factors, it may not be the GLT that gets that chair position, but at the very least, that's sort of the default, if you will. But this is important because part of your tasking is to make sure that the nominations are all filled with, hopefully, some new faces, some new names. So let's talk about the taskings. My keyboard doesn't want to cooperate with me. Tasking, preparing the club to support recruiting, support extension, by making sure that everyone is aware of the different elements, the importance of these things, and making sure that we've got the skills and the abilities in play to make each of these elements successful. Preparing? Sure. Training? Okay. GLT does not necessarily mean that the GLT, his or herself, actually provides that training. But the GLT must be able to reach out to the zone, the district, the multiple district for people that can provide this training in all these different areas. If you're if you as a GLT are qualified, are able to do this on your own, good for you. But for the vast majority of us, you know, we want to reach out to bring in subject matter experts, people with more experience, more knowledge, to help fill out the training element that's very important for every club. Provides and coordinates and encourages training for all members in all aspects of Lionism. Again, provide. Again, not necessarily that person, that GLT, the club GLT position, him or herself, but is able to reach out to bring in other instructors to help out. Collaborates with the district GLT and maintaining communications via multiple channels, everything from in-person to social media to email, whatever happens to work. making sure that you're working with, collaborating with the GLT at the district and the zone, and possibly even with a multiple district. And last but not least, identifying new and emerging leaderships to participate in all of our different events, all of our different parts of our club, including, of course, stepping up into leadership positions. And this can be everything from a committee chair right on up through club president, because again, it's sort of by default that the club GLT is going to be, basically the GLT team is going to be basically tapping shoulders to make sure that we've got some new names on the list of nominees for the different positions. And then, how do we measure success toward the end of the year? We measure success by maybe I haven't phrased that exactly right. Have informed and helped the club prepare for recruiting and extension via club branch or by sponsoring a new club, preparing for that. Maybe not necessarily doing, especially the club branch or extension, but at least making sure that your club members are aware of these opportunities. Of course, ensure the training was provided to all club members. Of course, participating in in-person visits, contributing to newsletters, engaging in social media in pursuit of these different goals. We measure success when we have identified new and emerging leaders that are in that list of club officer nominees for the following year. And we measure success by having reported progress in the club GLT goals to the club membership and the club's board of directors. In a very brief nutshell, that's about it. And I say it's a brief nutshell. This is the first time that I've done this presentation. I suspect that maybe I've forgotten one or two things. But in summary, talked briefly about the GAT structure, talked about the position. Ooh, did not answer that question. Did not answer that. Okay. So I need to go back and rework a little bit. So let me ask you two, of the GLT position, is that elected or is it appointed? What are your thoughts on this?
Not elected, so it must be appointed.
Jocelyn, you agree?
You're muted, Jocelyn.
You can't figure out.
Okay.
There you are.
I thought the GLT in the club level is the vice president.
For smaller clubs, yes, it's going to be the vice president. But if you think about it, for all of the years that you've been with your clubs, and you've gone through the voting as to who's going to be filling what position the next year, is the service chair elected or appointed?
Appointed.
Appointed. Okay. Is the membership chair elected or appointed?
Is the membership chair different from global GMT?
GMT is the same thing, yeah.
Oh, then it's elected.
So membership is elected, but service is appointed?
Appointed, yeah, appointed by the president.
You know, I'm in a relatively small club, and those chairs have not been elected, but they were. Somebody said, "Yeah, I'll do that," and he was appointed.
What you see here on the screen is incorrect, because we are talking essentially about a committee. Within the club, the president appoints the chairs for the committee.
True.
Now, it's very possible that in some clubs, because of past practice or because it's spelled out in the club's constitution bylaws, Some clubs may be electing these people into these positions, but because it's a committee, sort of by default, it's expected that the club president will appoint those positions. So what we see here on the screen is actually incorrect. Talked about the qualifications, the goals, and some of the taskings involved. And now I'd like to turn it around with your experience, both of you, in each of these different things that we've looked at. Excuse me. Whoops, come back here. In each of these things that we've looked at, especially when it comes to the taskings and the goals, what have I missed? What do you think?
What do you mean, you don't know?
It's the first time I've done this.
But as far as you know, it's all there.
As far as I know, that's why I'm asking you, what have I missed?
Well, then it's all there. I have to take the easy answer. Looks darn good to me, Al. No, I don't,
In the past, the primary goal, the primary tasking of the GLT was just to make sure that we had a list of nominees for next year's positions. That has expanded with training,
Mhm.
and that's and with training there comes a variety of other things involved with it as well, and I tried to elaborate on that. But there are two primary things that it seems to me, and I've looked at a variety of different references on the LCI website, and yeah, they go into a lot of fluff about all this other stuff, but it boils down to making sure that you've got new people stepping into leadership positions and providing training. That's what it all boils down to. And in both of these regards, I'm thinking that maybe I missed something here in my collection. What are your thoughts? Jocelyn, what did I miss?
I don't think you miss anything, but your point is so long though.
well, the second one there deals with encouraging club training. The fourth one there is all about emerging leaders to participate. So those are the two things you just said.
Right. Yeah.
So what's missing?
Yeah. 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 I think I hit it okay. I think I did.
But for us, mostly just encourage training, like make sure people and your members go to those training opportunities, like all kind of training that just encourage to go, like any leadership training.
Yeah. External training.
Yeah,
Northwest Alliance Leadership Institute. Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Good. Yeah. I need to add that in there. Thank you. Yes. Keeps the membership informed of these training opportunities. Yeah. Okay. Good. I need to add that. Thank you.
I wonder if it might be more nitpicking, but maybe points 2 and 4 should be 1 and 2 because they're the two most important.
Good thought. Good thought. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can rearrange those. Yeah.
Not it's sort of an anal retentive kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. Um, I kind of think that way. When I'm assembling these things, I try to think sequentially. First you do this, then you do this, etc. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Okay. All right. That being the case, I want to thank both of you for attending tonight. Boy, this one was short, 20 minutes,
You give you something to work on.
but it gave me something to work on. Absolutely true. And I do value your input. And I am going to put this up on YouTube so that other people can take a look, see, and maybe contribute their thoughts as to how to improve it as well. So,
Two points.
sure.
Number one, I'm here because I made the decision I'm going to support your trainings as much as I can. I haven't attended recently because there's something always going on.
Right.
You know, it has to be taken care of. And the other point is you might want to use that one down there at the bottom, the little yellow diamond AI companion. And when you start the recording, start the AI companion, and then you click it and it says summary. And then when you're done with your meeting, you'll get it back an incredibly detailed summary of the thing you just had.
Yeah.
It's better than having a secretary.
Oh,
So I'm all I'm saying is try it, see if you like it.
Try it now.
well, now we're at the end. I just got nothing.
Yeah, I almost started it, but I figured we're like pretty far into it. It would be, I'll point it up and you can try it next time. See
Yeah.
if you like it. It might give you some tools to use.
And it's free, so what the hell?
Oh, so you
So-
have to do it at the beginning to click that
Well,
button?
yeah, because it's going to summarize everything that you do. So
Oh, cool.
it's
Yeah.
like minutes.
That's why people like Google are restarting nuclear plants to have the energy to do things like AI companion.
Yeah. And Microsoft. Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy to do that, but it's an incredible tool.
The interestingly enough, you mentioned the nuclear energy for Microsoft. My brother-in-law is one of the project coordinators on exactly that for installing new data centers, and he's involved with that one too. So
Well, then
very
we have Stephanie. She works for BPA, and one of the things she does is map power across power lines.
oh really?
Yeah,
She may very well be working with my brother-in-law.
in one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. You've given me some good ideas here, and I do appreciate that. And if you have, of course, if you have any other thoughts after the fact, you know how to reach me.
Mhm.
Cool.
See you later, sir.
Bye.
I mean, not sir. Okay.
That's right. See you
Okay.
later.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.